Alright, what's up, gamblers? Gambling Kiwi, round 7, NRL 2024. Before we get into that, let's recap round 6 real quick. Let me get a pen out. We had some fantastic games. The Roosters here beating the Newcastle Knights. A lot of stars missing. They still came out with the 2 points. Beautiful stuff, boys. The Storm beat the Bulldogs. We had a same-game parlay here on the Storm. The Storm did win. Pappenhausen did score a try. We just didn't get the over, so that didn't count, unfortunately. We did get a bonus bet out of that, though. We'll cover more on that later. Broncos got the win for us. Compare that with the Raiders, who also got the win for us here. We had to wait till the very last game, very last minute, golden point win. So at least we got our safety parlay victory there. But Warriors won, Eels won. The one game that actually counted and mattered for us. Rabbits lost. Dragons won. So in the tipping, I think we tipped 7, 6 if you don't want to give me the Roosters there. 7 out of 8 games, still lost money. What is up? What's up? Let's cover that real quick. So Brokeman's 50, we didn't bet. Safety parlay, boom. Luckily we got that win by the 1 point there. But the one game that mattered, the one game we got wrong. Dog of the week, Rabbits. They were looking good too. It wasn't a dumb bet. They were looking good. I think they were up to like their third choice fullback there. At one point, someone had to yell from the sidelines who to put at fullback because no one knew. Injury plagued. Yeah, all the excuses in the world there for the Rabbits. Lost that game. Money bet, like I said, Storm won. Pappenhausen got the try. We just didn't get the over, so we do get a bonus bet, which is in play this week. Not feeling very confident about that bonus bet. I think we rushed it, nevertheless. Total spent 3 units. We got 1.8 back. That's minus 1.2. Takes us to minus 6.9 for the year. Let's get into it. First up, we do have Roosters going up against the Storm here. We will be tipping the Storm. Oh, sorry, the Roosters. They got James Tedesco coming back and Sam Walker coming back. Both teams did have wins last round, but I feel with the Roosters missing their stars and still getting a win over the Knights is a lot more impressive than the Storm's last minute win over the Dogs. Dogs still underrated this season though, I do believe. And it's kind of weird because the Storm beat the Dogs. The Roosters lost to the Dogs. However, the Storm lost to the Knights. And the Roosters just beat the Knights. Anyway, but James Tedesco, Sam Walker coming back. Storm have won 8 of their past 9 games against the Roosters. That's huge. That hurts. Roosters are at home though. Maybe Xavier Coates is live for a try scorer there. He seems to like to score tries against the Roosters. All that being said, this game is too close to call. We'll be tipping the Roosters. We'll be cheering for the Roosters, obviously. Storm here is my voodoo hoodoo child. We will not be betting against or on the Storm. Next up, we do Dragons vs Warriors. Warriors, obviously, but they had the draw with the Eagles there, and Zach Lomax tamed the Tigers last week. The saying is Ben Hunt vs Shaun Johnson, and yeah, I think Shaun Johnson is the better player there. Not only that, I feel he has the better team on his side as well. Dragons have not won 2 games in a row since 2022. That's kind of embarrassing. That's a hard stat. And Warriors will be celebrating the 150th game. Dragons will be celebrating the 100th game. All in all, even though the Warriors are away from home, I'll be looking for the Warriors to win this one. Dragons might be a bit more relaxed too after getting that win over the Tigers. It takes a bit of pressure off them because they just got to win. And I feel Warriors will get this one done. In case you noticed these things down here, these are my advisors. We've been watching the other YouTubers. We won't drop no names, but you'll see here 2 over here, 1 over here, 2 over here, 1 over here. They're kind of split this week, but yeah, where are we? But they yeah. just my advisors. So we've got all the other YouTubers on the Eels side here. Dolphins lost to Queensland to the Broncos, despite the Broncos making a whole bunch of errors. The Eels finally got their first win without Moses with their defeat of the Cowboys. Dolphins are injury plagued. They got some players out on suspension. Nothing is looking good here for the Dolphins. All downhill. Eels have not won back-to-back games without Moses since 2020 though. Eels were in my safety parlay. We took them out once we realised just how much they are struggling. We didn't watch the Eels-Cowboys game last week. They got a 300 here. Not only a 300, but the first prop ever to get 300 games. Seems a bit weird, but whatever. The tip will be the Eels. I feel fairly confident they will get it done. However, no bet on this game, just mainly because of this stat here. If they struggle that much without Moses, I'm not going to trust them with my money. Next up, we do have the Panthers coming out, fresh from the bye. Tigers, with their loss to the Dragons there. Now, there's not much to be said about this game. Last year, obviously, the Tigers upset the Panthers in the rain. We tipped that game, by the way. We did tip that one. I remember yelling, can I get a subscriber for that tip? And someone did subscribe for that. So if you're still around, thank you for that. And we'll tip the Tigers again, just to reminisce off of that memory. Will the Panthers be coming for revenge? More than likely. Will Nathan Cleary make the game? More than likely. Panthers just absolute slaughter. The advisors all on the Panthers side. I think, not much to be said there. Top team versus bottom team. Go Panthers. Next up, Titans versus Eagles. Obviously, Eagles drawed with the Warriors. Titans golden point loss to the Raiders. Titans are 0 for 5 for this season, and because of that fact, we will be not putting a bet on this game. No bet. Because I said a lot of the times, you can only kick a team so much. The pressure's going to be on. They've got to be the only team without a win yet. And there's only so much shit you can give a person before he gets up and punches you. So I feel the Titans are due for a win. They have to come out. They have to, something has to give. I know injury plagued, but they got to win at some point. Eels have got a bunch of ins coming back in for the round, or hopefully they get all these guys back. Titans have won the last 2 games against the Eagles though, and the Titans coach has won 10 out of the last 14 games for the Eagles. That's 7 from the last 8 as well. I think he was the Bulldogs coach. He switched, whatever's going on, but this coach, whatever his name is, has been doing really good when he coaches against the Eagles. That's all we've got to say. No bet on this game, but I will be tipping the Titans here. Next up we've got Broncos. Error-filled Broncos still defeated the Dolphins. Golden point win over the Titans there for the Raiders. Oh, I'm trying to underline and not scribble it out. Broncos will be wanting this win before Origin kicks in. They lose a couple of their stars. I think that's a valid point. Remember last year, Broncos were on like a 6-game win streak before the Raiders turned up and broke that win streak, which was described by many as an ambush. Raiders have won 4 of the past 6 games against the Broncos. I won't worry too much about that. And Salon Cobo would be live for a try score here. He seems to like to score tries against the Raiders. All in all, Broncos at home. I feel they will want this win more. I feel they're the better team. And go Broncos. All in on Broncos here. We've got my advisors all stacking on the Broncos as well. It's looking good. You can never count out the Raiders. The Raiders are just one of those teams that are always consistent, are always a solid average team. Some of the other teams, like maybe the Cowboys, maybe the Sharks, they can peak above the Raiders and then they can drop down below the Raiders as well. The Raiders always seem to be that constant. If you're not up to scratch, if you slack off, they're going to beat you. But I feel Broncos are going to be up for this one. I feel this win here over the Dolphins, even though they won the game, they made so many errors in that game that the coach would have grilled them, and they're going to feel coming into this game like they lost last week. With the grilling and probably the discipline and the training that they went through this week. as if they lost that game. So yeah, I feel Broncos, all in Broncos. A lot to cover on this one. Knights obviously losing there to the Roosters, even though the Roosters were missing their players, and the Bulldogs lost to the Storm. It does show that both these teams can compete with the top teams, and these are two. I think both these teams are looking good for the top 8 this year. Both teams just lost by the 2 points, so they'll be coming into this game with every point counts, both teams. Bulldogs have a lot of returns hoping to get back here. Whether or not any of them actually make it, we don't know. Same with the Knight. We don't know if he's going to make it back or not. Both have a player who pleaded guilty and has got a 1 game, what do you call it? Grade 1. I messed everything up. They both got a player who should have missed a game, but he pled guilty early, so they both have that player back. Knights have won 5 of the past 6 games against the Dogs. That's a harrowing stat there for the Knights. That's a big up for them. And also the Knights will make his 150th NRL appearance. Despite all of that, why is my camera drifted off? Despite all of that stuff, everything's looking good here for the Knights. 2 of the 3 advisors have picked the Bulldogs, and I too will be picking the Bulldogs, and they will be my dog of the week. Bulldogs have just been playing with so much passion and pride lately. They had, when they played the Roosters, they had all the old stars in the crowd and that, so they've been having a lot of history poured into them. And they're looking good this year. Knights have been looking good too. But the Dogs stood up and went toe-to-toe with the Storm, a very top team. Roosters, well, also considered a very top team. We're missing a lot of their stars, and the Knights still failed. Dogs did fail too, but it was a full-strength Storm team, you know. So I think the Dogs have got every chance to win this game. I think it will be a 50-50 game. Bulldogs are at home. Hopefully they get it done. Hopefully that's enough. Hopefully that's all they need. Hopefully their fans turn up and push them over the edge. And, you know, when you believe it is going to be a 50-50 game, go for the underdog, right? That's how gambling works. Next up, finally we have Sharks vs Cowboys. Sharks did beat the Rabbits last week. Rabbits were my dog of the week. They lost. But I just feel it was more like the Rabbits lost that game than the Sharks did to win. I feel anybody who was playing the Rabbits that week would have beaten the Rabbits with all the injuries and players they had off. Cowboys lost to the Eels. You know, we've got hot, cold Cowboys turning up. 1 week the hot, 1 week the cold. And we have bet on these guys this week, and I'm not liking it, but we're going to have to tip them. We do have the Sharks do have the winger out, Katoa, which is a big up. That's a big, huge up for the Cowboys there that he's gone. But he doesn't make or break the Sharks team. The Sharks are going to do just fine without him. Sharks have won 10 of the past 11 games against the Cowboys. That's an embarrassing up there for the Sharks. 10 of the last. Drinkwater will play his 100th game though. I'm hoping that is enough to get the Cowboys up, excited, and to win this game. All my advisors are here on the Sharks. We are tipping the Cowboys. I do have them in a parlay because of my bonus bet, which I placed rather hastily and fast. I was just like, it's just a bonus bet. Let's go all in. You know, when you get that second opportunity in life, you got to go for it. We went for it. Buyers regret now though, but we're stuck with it. So I'm just hoping that this 100 gets them over the line, and that's enough to hopefully they come out hot, right? Rabbits obviously with the bye, which they need because hopefully some of their players can come back. So just wrap it all up for round 7. Obviously be tipping the Roosters here. That's our boys. They're at home. They've got some players coming back. Never bet against the Storm though. I'll be tipping the Warriors even though they're on the road. They're our other team. And we do have them in our safety parlay with the Broncos. We did have the Eels. We got cold feet. We backed out of that one. I still will tip the Eels here at home. But we took them out of the safety parlay, replaced it with the Broncos. I'm feeling pretty good about this one. We're tipping the Titans here. No bet on this game though, and we're going to tip the Tigers here as well, just because tips mean absolutely nothing. But it'll be funny just to see if the Tigers can voodoo-hoodoo the Panthers and beat them again. Bulldogs, obviously our dog of the week. They're at home, coming up against the Knights. It's going to be a hard game. Should be a close game. Hopefully the Dogs can get it done for us. And we're going to have to tip the Cowboys here. I mean, both these teams, both Cowboys and Sharks are hot, cold teams, right? You never know what you're going to get with both teams. The Sharks were red hot last week. They looked absolutely fantastic. You know, the Rabbits did have all those injuries. They did fall off. The Rabbits were looking good there for the first half, fella. Takes nothing away from the Sharks' performance. The Sharks did what the Sharks had to do, and they did it, and they looked good doing it. They have lost their winger, and just because they were red hot last week doesn't mean they're not going to be stone cold this week. Both of these teams are hot, cold teams. I feel it could go either way, and Cowboys are paying the money. It is a red danger bet, though. I can't recommend it. Our poor man's 50, still at $42. No action last week, and no action again this week. It's still early in the competition. We went hard at the start. We went high, and then we crashed back down. I was thinking if I put the $42 on the Panthers, it would have came back at an equal $50 and got us back to our 50. But then I remembered it was the Panthers that lost it for us in the first place, so we're not going to do that. No bet here. Warriors Broncos safety parlay will double your money of that parlay, and our bonus bet we put on the Warriors, the Dogs, and the Cowboys. Which if that hits, it's a big 6 units for us, which we desperately need right now. We're down quite a lot. Dog of the week, obviously the Bulldogs. I feel that's the best value bet on the board. All said and done, we would. The stuff happening in the world, let's just be thankful if we even make it to the weekend, guys? We'll leave it at that. Good luck.